Amanda, there's a significant amount of damage here in downtown Seminole. The tornado ripping through this area, taking trees, power poles, and roofs with it. Talked to a lot of witnesses, Carl, all of them saying it was really a shock. They could hear it, they could feel it, and then of course came running out to see this house completely demolished. Now I'm joined here with Priscilla. So Priscilla, you live nearby,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
So tell me kind of what you saw, what you felt. Mark Wayne Mullen met with applause tonight as he took the podium. He said really he was expecting a tight race, but the campaign did better than expected.
In the month of June, Enid police worked 29 auto burglaries. In over half of those cases, the people left their doors unlocked.
80 crews are traveling on metro roads tonight between the city of OKC and the Department of Transportation. Both departments have been working around the clock since Tuesday. The city of OKC has traveled 2,000 miles covering snow routes. The Oklahoma City Department of Transportation deploying 600 crews statewide.
Our Feliz Romero is live to begin our team coverage.
The captain tells me there really is no better training than a 5-alarm fire. The cadets who graduate next week have been on a rotation since the fire broke out last night.
To raise awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women.
News 9's Feliz Romero joins us live at the First Americans Museum, where she met with advocates today in Oklahoma City. Feliz.
It was an emotional day for family and friends who gathered here at the museum. Franz Beasley tells me their stories will stay with him as he travels to New York City.
This is Lena Jean Bouquet. She was murdered in Lawton, Oklahoma. She left in a body bag, as did his friend, murdered in Caddo County.
Stories of tragedy.
You're entering into their pain and their grief and their struggle.
There was 400 cases open as of May. At this time, it's still standing.
The devastating statistics prompting Franz Beasley to raise the alarm.
It is ultimately to bring awareness to the rape, the violence, murder, and trafficking of Black, brown, and Indigenous women within our country.
One step at a time.
To see mothers breaking down, to see family members breaking down, it's extremely difficult. It also gives me fuel, though, to keep pushing out there.
Beasley starting his long walk across the country in Los Angeles, stopping in Arizona, New Mexico, and now Oklahoma.
It has been one of the most humbling experiences of my life, and it's completely changed the way I look at life.
Approaching 1,600 miles, Beasley says it's the people that keep him going, taking the stories shared in Oklahoma City to his next destination in Texas.
You have to move your feet. You can't pray and not move your feet.
How's our tribes going to know? How's the state going to know? How's the government going to know? How's our nation going to know unless we say and speak and we put that awareness out there?
There's a lot of work to be done, and it's going to take all of us to be able to actually make an impact during our generation, during our lifetime.
A statewide push for school safety, and today we got a look at the training. News 9's Feliz Romero is live at the Oklahoma Highway Patrol headquarters. Feliz?
This, of course, is the first step to complying to the governor's executive order to make schools safer. Troopers will take what they learned here back home and train other officers.
We want to put them under as much realistic stress in the scenario-based training to have them as fully prepared as we can.
Troopers from across the state of Oklahoma gathering at a metro training center.
How do we move in, stop the killing as quickly as possible, render aid, and resolve the situation as quickly as possible. So we want to make sure that we're prepared.
Mission Secure Oklahoma schools well underway.
The executive order really is a holistic approach. How does law enforcement, local school districts, and local communities partner together? How do we use our latest technology for identifying threats, hopefully preventing threats from happening, doing behavioral threat assessments, things like that.
While all state troopers have gotten some form of active shooter training, the latest effort will provide up-to-date tactics for law enforcement.
Some of the early active shooter training really didn't address door breaching or maybe have the initial responding officers is prepared for that, so that's included in this training.
Giving all 9,000 officers in the state of Oklahoma the same skills to respond,
14, 15,
regardless of the time or place.
They're getting a toolbox of techniques and tactics that they could implement to eliminate, stop the threat.
From local leaders to President Biden, officials are calling for action in the wake of this senseless act of gun violence.
Today, the Oklahoma Democratic caucuses laid out their plan for a solution. News 9's Feliz Romero joins us live with a breakdown. Feliz?
The Democratic caucus starting their press conference today, extending thoughts and prayers to the families of the victims in Tulsa, also making it a point to say this press conference was set before the mass shooting.
Do something or step aside and let someone else do your job.
No words of comfort believes their pain at this time. So we've come today to propose action that we know, based on data, will dramatically reduce the likelihood that any other Oklahoma family has to suffer the same pain, the same loss of those families that were murdered in my hometown just yesterday.
In the wake of another mass shooting, the Oklahoma Democratic caucus is calling on their fellow lawmakers
to amend the call for special session to allow us time to amend Oklahoma's gun laws.
The caucus proposing the Stand Against Violence and Extremism Act.
I truly believe that the state of Oklahoma believes in this.
The SAVE Act would repeal certain gun owner protections. It would also add a statewide red flag law, waiting period law, and raise the minimum purchase age to 21.
When we have this conversation, people say, don't be divisive. Don't bring it up now. Let's have respect for the families. We are here because we have respect for family.
Police say the gunman in the Tulsa mass shooting was able to legally purchase an AR-15 style rifle hours before opening fire, killing 4 people.
Background checks, proper training for individuals who purchase AR-15s, red flag laws that would identify individuals that are suffering with mental health illnesses.
We have reached out to the governor's office for comment and have not heard back. Reporting live at the Capitol, Feliz Romero, Oklahoma's own News 9.